When the weather outside becomes a little less frightful and the trails and yards become much more delightful, there are some things medical experts want you to know.
Yes, those activities are very dangerous, so you do want to make sure that you're still aware of preventive measures, primarily helmets.
And when it comes to the great outdoors and taking part in some sporting events, some safety tips for the entire family are necessary, says Dr. Thomas Watanabe, a traumatic brain injury specialist and medical director for physical medicine and rehabilitation at Moss Rehab.
The culture has to change a little bit, so I know like in skiing, for instance, helmets are very fashionable, so maybe there's a role for fashion to make helmets more popular.
But not just any helmet you need, and not all are made equal. Dr. Watanabe says often the fit is just as important for you and your kids, and as we emerge into the second spring of the COVID-19 pandemic, he also says injuries requiring hospital visits are rising.
It really dropped off quite a bit early on when we had a virtual lockdown.
And with more venues like gyms and sporting leagues increasing capacity, he says the risk for injuries increase, especially if you've been out of the game for practices for a bit. While many feared making doctor appointments or hospital visits, he says early on in the pandemic, he says that can be equally as dangerous to those who think they've taken a small fall or bump to the head and could be at greater risk for even more severe injuries.
If there's any question that there might be a brain injury, a change in level of alertness, new headaches, certainly things like nausea or vomiting are really important signs that significant brain injury might occur.
Many hospitals still do have limits on who can accompany patients inside. All the reason, he says, invest in helmets for all family members now before hitting the road on bikes, blades, or even if you're still skiing. Deanna Durante, NBC10 News.